Hello, my name is Ellison Kate Fox, and I'm 17 years old.
Hello, I'm Chris Brown. I'm 48 years old.
Hello, I'm Lily Mullen. I'm 17 years old.
Hi, I'm Gardner and I'm 17 years old.
Hey, I'm Jen and I'm 48 years old.
Hi, my name is Caroline Hall and I'm 17 years old.
Hey everybody, my name is Olivia Brown. I'm going to be presenting a speech to you guys on the Palmetto Bowl kickoff time. Being born into a Clemson legacy and a Tiger football fanatic family, I have been to and experienced many games. Going to watch the Tigers play is always a blessing and is truly when I'm the happiest. While every game is competitive and can occasionally get a little rowdy, the last game of this regular season is by far the most intimidating due to the fact that we play our rivals, the South Carolina Gamecocks, in what's called the Palmetto Bowl. On top of the school rivalry, the entire state of South Carolina is split between the two schools, putting neighbors head to head against each other every year on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. This obviously can cause a lot of animosity. Fans from each school gather together for the game, tailgating and enjoying themselves before kickoff, which usually varies for time, whether it's at noon, 3:30, or sometimes 7 o'clock or later. This is where the controversy can be presented. Many argue that the game should always be held at 12 o'clock, noon, p.m., no matter the circumstance or host stadium, to prevent and avoid issues of all sorts, many of which stem from extreme and widespread consumption of alcohol and extreme rivalry. Personally, I agree with this stance, not only because I've witnessed how dangerous these games can be if drawn out too long, but also due to the fact that statistics show the prolonged tailgating and intoxication can lead to many problems down the road. First, I figure I should point out that an article posted on Bleacher Report ranks the Palmetto Bowl as the 8th largest college football rivalry in the nation. While this is only an opinion, South Carolina residents know how intense this football game is. With that being said, the tensions are high, creating lots of room for confrontation. This confrontation is only made worse when drinking is involved, which many football fans know is very popular at tailgating. An article published in the Journal of College Hope states that high-risk drinking on game days prevents a unique public health challenge and reported that fans who drink significantly more tailgating compared to the amount that they would normally drink at a social event or party. This prevents a hazardous environment with the opportunity to spark a fight or induce injuries or illness for everybody. Not to mention, this creates more of a risk for drinking and driving, a problem that definitely does not need to be added onto. All a later kickoff would do is allow people more time to drink and let the tension continue to boil up. While on the topic of game day environment, drunk fans always find a way of making others around them uncomfortable and angry. They are loud, rowdy, overly competitive, and oftentimes use mostly explicit language and extremely inappropriate use for a public place. Also, keep in mind of the amount of children in the crowd. When given the opportunity to tailgate and drink until a later kickoff, fans tend to abuse the allotted time and become entirely too wasted too fast and still continue to drink. From personal experience, sitting by drunk fans in the stands is not enjoyable whatsoever. However, the difference between a night game and a noon game is very recognizable. Due to the fact that a large percentage of those fans who would normally be extremely drunk for kickoff have not had enough time to do so at a noon game, or they prefer not to drink in the morning. My mom once told me a story from a few years ago before I was born about her worst experience at a Clemson-Carolina football game. While sitting in the stadium, she was surrounded by both Clemson and Carolina fans and was continuously harassed for the entirety of the game. She proceeded to leave the game early after being spit on and hit with glass bottles from drunk Carolina fans in the upper deck. Kickoff for this game was at 7 p.m. The rivalry games are significantly worse than others, and with more fans in attendance, they put more people at risk. This is why kickoff should always be early. A noon kickoff would combat the abuse of time and alcohol, reduce crime, injury, and confrontation significantly. Lastly, the Clemson versus Carolina game should be permanently kept at noon to preserve the tradition and fun of the rivalry. According to the Palmetto Bowl's official website, the history of the rivalry is stated to begin in 1896. The Clemson-South Carolina rivalry is the second longest continuous rivalry in the Division I college football and the longest uninterrupted rivalry series in the South. If tailgating and inappropriate fans continue to present problems that threaten the fun of the game, there will be less attendance and a negative outlook on something that's meant to be enjoyable. This game is also something that heavily represents our state, and if there's a negative stigma about fans' attitudes and behaviors, we are not only ruining our own fun, but making our home state look bad. Since 1896, this rivalry game hasn't been interrupted, and we shouldn't ruin that now with foul play and immaturity. There are so many reasons to require that this game is always scheduled at noon. Not only will we be protecting our fans, but we will protect the long-lasting tradition of the Palmetto Bowl. If kickoff was later than noon, we'd be practically allowing our fans to get entirely too intoxicated, creating more problems to deal with ourselves and putting our own people at risk. Even though we're all very competitive and want to support our team, whether it's the Tigers or the Gamecocks, we are neighbors and we should respect and protect each other, even if that means cutting back on our precious tailgating time for this one game. Thank you.
Woo!